But I got my guy right here, Tom Kennedy, who I've known for many years. He works with the RK Auto Group, which is the dealership that my daughter Kalina works at. So what I want to just start with is, can you just tell us a little bit about your background? You know, what do you do at the dealership?
So I started in the BDC. Over the course of the years, I got into the equity mining side of things. And then when I was handed the equity mining side of things, I was also handed the keys to essentially every login, every platform, and I just started picking things apart. And from that, I actually developed my own job title. And because I'm the only one in the dealership that was willing to sit through a spreadsheet for 7 hours and figure out big data sets and such, I built into a job title for e-commerce. But I do everything from video production to back-end analytics, a little bit of everything, jack of all trades, and anything that I don't know, I will typically pick up within 24 hours. And because, like Sean's always saying, it's all about training. And YouTube's the best college at this point, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because you can pick up a new skill set in 48 hours.
So I want to set the stage for this, so as you guys are hearing what's going on, okay, this is the technology of the new normal. So we had a panel about philosophies and strategies, right? So what I want to talk about is technology. What technology is important to utilize today? Okay, Stephanie, kind of share a little bit of your background again.
Okay, so I'm one of those lucky few that was born into the industry. I started working at the store in, I think it was 2012. And I came in part-time doing digital marketing, but mostly just social media, because at the time there was no one in the store that understood it and why it was important. But they needed someone to do it, so I did it. Fast forward, I started gaining a little bit more responsibility, and over time I ended up becoming the marketing director. I've been an internet sales director. I managed a BDC. When things hit the fan, I am the problem solver. I am the fire putter, outer, you name it, I do it. I wear every hat in that store other than manning service drive. That's the only thing I haven't gotten into yet.
Okay. Josh?
Got into the industry in parts in 2004 and went from there into service, was a service manager for a while, fixed ops director. Really over the past 18 years have ran every department in the dealership, fortunately. Always being the younger guy in the store that had, some computer knowledge, got a lot of that, computer, digital marketing, anything that had to do with a computer that nobody else wanted to do kind of pushed onto me. And then got into sales. After that, started training myself on SEM, got Google certified, Facebook certified and all that, and started doing for our dealer group a lot of the marketing in-house. And went on from there, taking on some clients locally. So now I'm the fixed ops director of a dealer group in North Florida, encompassed by a Ford and Chrysler Dodge Ram store.
Name of the group?
Waltz Auto Group.
That's awesome. So you've been with that group for how long?
It's been it's probably about 6-7 years.
Okay, so now we're gonna get into the good stuff. Now that we know who you guys are, right? So, Josh, what would you say is, before you answer, just listen to this, what is the number one technology that you're utilizing today? So I know there's a bunch of things, but here's how I want you to answer it is literally the technology that is either helping you sell cars or keep the glue together for the dealership, so to speak. What is the absolute most important tool that you use?
Right now, the most important tool would be a text messaging tool. I believe that we're here. We use Matador to be able to follow up with leads. I think anybody, nobody's going to say your follow-up process in any dealership is perfect, and this really helps you with their AI to be able to follow up long-term, and really takes a lot of the stress off BDC agents depending on your process. So you can build whatever follow-up process you want, how long you want. We go out 120 days, especially with, I think everybody's mentioned that, staffing shortages right now with COVID. It definitely helps with that too, but it's kind of like your personal assistant, messaging and text messaging
Wait
in
a
the
minute.
background.
And again, this is not a commercial for them, but I'm asking this because I'm really curious. So explain, because a lot of people might not have heard of Matador, and so it's a text messaging platform, but when you're saying automation and stuff like that, what is it? Mass text messaging, individual text messaging?
Yeah,
How does it work?
So the way it works alongside your CRM, and it's really the only tool we found, that does this. Every lead source that comes in, you can set up a different follow-up, right? So we have it set up depending on the lead source, the first message.
Here,
you're always
let's
gonna
use an
have-
example. Let's just say if you have Cars Direct leads. They're one of our sponsors, right? Let's
was
just
that
say,
again?
let's Cars Direct. You have Cars Direct leads.
So like a Cars
yeah.
Direct lead, you're going to have a different type of clientele. So your follow-up is going to be different. Your verbiage is going to be different to what they're going to, what they're looking for, right? So we have a different follow-up for each lead source depending on where they're from and that type of clientele. So we have, mainly. So when you get a lead in, it goes in via ADF into their system and sends out a message, obviously with an opt-in. Immediately, but you can set it up to do anything, right? So we even do it. We even use it after service. But the main thing is using text messages. We have like a 29% engagement rate with text messages versus like email, which is like 3
So
to
walk me
5%.
through this. Let's say Sean Bradley submitted an internet purchase request through Cars Direct on a 2022 Ford F-150, right?
Yep.
So what CRM do you use?
E-leads.
Okay, so so walk us through this so it's really clear.
Yep.
The lead comes in, it hits e-leads. There should be an automatic process, an action plan or a process for that lead through e-leads, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm trying to understand
is
is where does the workflow, begin and end in e-leads and begin and end in the AI software?
Okay. So the way we have it set up, which is, you can customize it any way you want to, but the way we've found the best results is as soon as the inquiry comes in, say it's, from Cars Direct, they get a text message immediately asking, welcome to the dealership with a little quick, video. Welcome to the dealership. We're here to help you with your buying, easy and no hassle buying experience.
Where does that come from? The e-lead?
From the AI text messaging.
Okay,
Yep.
so it doesn't come from e-lead then?
No, it comes automatically from there.
Okay.
Ask them if they prefer a call or a text message, if texting is easier to communicate.
How does video come through? Is video part of the platform or does video integrate into the platform?
So you can do video, almost like a FaceTime call with the solution.
Okay.
But we just use a short URL and put in the message, for the
Can
video
you use that
itself.
like through BombBomb, something like that?
It's like BombBomb, yeah. You can use
Okay.
BombBomb Code Video, something like that. You can put the video in there. But we ask right off the bat, do you prefer text messaging or would you like a call? Majority of them prefer text messaging. There's very, very few and far in between that actually say no, call.
Okay, and I'm not trying to be difficult. I just know that I'm pretty smart, and I know there's a lot of new people that are here, and if I'm confused, other people might be confused too. So,
gotcha.
okay, so where do you ask that question from? Do you want an email or text message? Like, is
In
that
a text
through-
message, yeah. It sends out automatically as soon
So
as the
this,
inquiry
so
comes
then what
in.
are you using e-leads for?
So the e-leads, you got the long-term follow-up. If they don't respond, right? So they don't respond to that first message asking if they want to text or call.
Okay, makes a lot of
Then
sense.
we go back to our regular process.
Your hope and goal is to use the AI technology for Matador as the primary engagement conversion tool, correct?
Correct.
And then if that doesn't, the safety net is the CRM.
Yeah. We're obviously going to call. If they don't respond to a text
Right.
message, we're still going to call, send emails. But primarily, most of the response you get is via text message.
Okay.
And they engage and start a conversation. So.
And if I'm understanding the AI technology, it's almost like a CRM itself in the aspect that you could set up automated text messages and automated follow-ups.
Yeah. You set up follow-ups depending on how long you want it to go out, what days you want. You can say I want a text message to go out 5 minutes after the lead comes in. Whenever you can set up. Do whatever
Okay,
you
I'm
want.
curious. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Doesn't e-leads and other CRMs have text messaging capabilities within their platform?
So e-leads does have a texting within it, but it's not an automated process, right? You have to send the opt-in. Very few people will opt into the message that's in there. So this is more of a communication, type tool. And if they don't, so say you get an inquiry today from Cars Direct, they don't reply. We have one like an hour after the inquiry. If they don't reply, the AI bot will ask them, hey, Sean, are you getting my messages, or is this the right number? Just a because they don't realize it's AI, right? They think
Right.
it's somebody texting them. So a lot of times that'll get them engaged, and they'll realize that it's a real person, and then they'll just start, the communication from there.
Well, that's a cool little tip there. You know, again, even if you didn't have that type of technology, by creating in a traditional CRM that type of follow-up that says something like, hey, just want to make sure you're getting these messages, something that's simple, it makes the prospect think or feel that this isn't just a templated automatic thing. It looks like it's a real
Yeah, it makes
person.
a big difference in using your name, making you can make the bot have its own name, once it starts texting them, a realistic name, obviously.
Right.
But we're really not even, you really got to be careful when you're making like templates like that and making it seem like a person. Like, hey, Sean, are you getting my messages? Or I just want to make sure you're getting my messages. I'm here to help. Something that you would text somebody yourself, and not make
Strong.
it long and draw out, just short and to the point.
Strong. What would you say if you could quantify this, though? Because I asked, what's the number one tool, and you didn't even have to think or hesitate. So, what's the value that you've got from this, like money-wise, unit-wise, gross-wise? Like, how much more do you think that your organization is benefiting because you have this technology in it?
Well, right now with that technology, it's letting our BDC agents or internet sales really be able to follow up with about twice the amount of leads. Because if they're engaging with the ones that are engaging with us, right? So we're not calling those that you're calling, 30 times and never answering the phone. We've got people engaging and actively texting us, so we're working those first and then going back. After we obviously get, text those back, and the ones that are engaging with us, we'll obviously do the follow-up, the standard way, but it really helps us filter through the ones that are actually engaging and ready to buy.
Strong. I appreciate it. So, same question, Stephanie. Okay, what technology do you use, or what, software or resource vendor is really helping your organization, during this time?
So we don't use Matador, but we use something similar, which is SpinCar Sales AI. And it's a good product, similar to what he uses it for. We use it for follow-up with the BDC. It does take a lot of the workload off the BDC, and it does help drive a sale because it can respond to the consumer when the consumer wants to be responded to. So if the consumer puts a lead in at 5 in the morning, and that's the time that they're up and looking, they'll get a response at 5 in the morning, and the next day at 5 in the morning. And it will modify as it needs to respond at the right time to get consumer engagement. That's one tool. We have other tools. We use co-video like BombBomb. I personally like to use something that's called Clarivoy because it gives me data from the sales. So I give them access to our sales log. They match it back every point that customer has touched on the internet. Even if they never submit a lead to us, I know that they were looking at AutoTrader. I know they were looking at KBB. I know that they were on AutoTrader 50 times before they even came to my website, then submitted a form, then came in 3 days later and bought. And so I can make really good decisions on my marketing. I can really maximize that spend because I know exactly which buckets to put it into. I find that very useful.
Absolutely. So, same question. What tool do you use or the dealership uses that's really important to you guys and valuable?
I would probably say BombBomb, and I tend to leverage it not just for taking recordings with my phone on the lot, but also we're the #1 dealership in the country for raising money in the fight against breast cancer. So we have traditionally uploaded our walk video and send that out, but it animates the beginning of that, video testimonials, giving some motion to that in emails and social media as well. But that and a $20 microphone is a ton of success.
Explain the microphone statement.
Here's your iPhone without a microphone. Here's your iPhone with a microphone. It's that easy.
No, he's absolutely right, folks. I'm going to tell you this right now. As you can see, I have a pretty awesome video production company. And the two things that are really critical for successful video creation is audio and visual, meaning you want to have the proper lighting. So again, if you have a lighting kit, if you need a lighting kit, or you're shooting videos outside, but then the microphone 100%. Nobody wants to listen to a video that
But how many times do you start a video while you're working in the kitchen or something and then start looking away, but you're still listening? So audio is 80% of a video.
And listen, that's the only way LA could see a video is what it sounds like, you know, for real, for real. All right, this is perfect. What I want to now transition, and then I'm going to open it up to the audience. Again, you've got some pretty, talented people in there. I didn't just randomly pick them up. I know two of these people really, really well. So let's talk about CRM for a second. So Tom, you guys use what CRM tool?
Vin Solutions?
Okay, and you guys have multiple stores. You're a dealer group, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so and me and you've gone through action plans and processes, and in the beginning it was rough because we were trying to put our system, our philosophy in a tool, but we finally got it down pat. I got to say that your dealership's not perfect, but I'm really proud that you do way better than most dealerships on CRM. So tell us, how important do you feel CRM is and your Vin Solutions tool?
While I was still making commission before I got transitioned into the management position that I am, have dropped everything that I have done and sat on a phone call for a week with Sean because it's that important. Like, take the time to customize your action plans, take the time to customize your tasks. If you have a bunch of garbage in there, you're wasting people's time. And it's that important. Like, it's the thing that manages all of your people when you're not directly eyes on them.
So Stephanie, same question for you about like CRM. How do you feel CRM is for your dealership?
I don't see how people don't use the CRM.
Exactly, right?
I mean, how do you keep track of everybody you talk to? We don't have notebooks or whatever they used to use back in the day, those big binders where they'd put all their like prospects in. That doesn't exist. So how do you keep track of the customer? If they come up on the lot and you don't put them in the CRM, we don't know to reach back out to them. So I think that the eLead that we use, but it doesn't matter, any CRM, is one of the most important tools in the store, but you have to have everybody on board to use it.
See, I'm really happy that I have two of my clients that are on here because we do CRM for both of your organizations and both are dealer groups. And I'm glad that your owners feel that CRM needs to be a major thing because unfortunately, a lot of dealers and GMs, they're not stupid. They understand that CRM is important, but even knowing that CRM is important, they're not actively focusing on customizing it or organizing it. I want to just really stress that I want to get Josh's opinion because you're with a big dealer group too, is, Steffi, can you flush that out? Like you said, you can't, like, what do you think about dealers that just don't take it seriously? They don't hold it accountable. They don't hold their employees accountable to the CRM. Like how, not just stupid, but how bad is that money-wise and customer-wise?
You lose a lot of opportunity. I worked in a store where the CRM was important, but it wasn't utilized heavily across the board. And I can't tell you how many people lot ups would just disappear. So how, again, am I supposed to get them back in to sell them? If you can't close them and I don't know they exist, that's a waste of time and money for everybody.
Here's a couple other things, and Josh, I promise I'm coming to you in a second. A couple things about this that I especially with my family here, I want them to hear me clearly. We say the basic things, and we just basically don't listen. Put notes in, not just log them in, but I see over and over, even my clients, it frustrates us because it's over and over. Put the damn notes in. CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. There is very, very little relationship building, relationship details in a CRM. We use it as a follow-up tool or because we have to. But if we stop fighting the damn tool, because there's so many salespeople and managers even, and BDC people that spend energy hiding, faking, lying, tweaking, and instead of, if you just use that same energy to actually learn how the tool works, and then just get over yourself, it would be so beneficial. One thing I would say with Tom, when we showed you how to do the hashtags in Vin Solutions to group, you guys don't even know this. I demo all the time. Like when I demo prospects, when I actually probably went into, and I was demoing Stephanie's group before we sold them, I brought them into RK Auto Group, and I went into the advanced search. I turned on, I put in hashtag Corvette, and all that came through. Explain what the hashtag is, the feature in Vin.
So you have the ability, like in Instagram and anything else, to tag specific things in VIN. And then, just like any other search engine or social media, like it all feeds back. It's fairly intuitive.
So again, let's just say, for example, my daughter works at your Kia store. Tellurides were hot before the pandemic. It's even crazier now. So if you got a prospect that's looking for a Telluride, you could just hashtag in the notes section, hashtag Telluride. That way, if you have a new shipment just came in or whatever it is, or someone trades one in or whatever it is, instead of searching this net, you literally just type in hashtag Telluride and brrr, that whole list pops up. That, I'm not flexing, that's just a small little thing that so many dealers that have VIN don't even realize. How do I know? Because I'm doing this every single day. So Josh, back to you. I know that you have the Matador stuff, which I think is an incredible tool for sure, but how does your organization utilize eLead, the CRM itself?
Well, with us, if it's not an e-leads, it didn't happen, right? And that's from the top down. And that's one of the big things that is to get the buy-in with the CRM. I know that you're talking about notes. It's got to come from the top down, your dealer principal. At our stores, if it's not an e-leads, it didn't happen, right? So somebody can say, oh, I just talked to that customer yesterday and trying to get on half a deal. But if it's not an e-leads, and even with click-to-call with e-leads, it didn't happen.
What would you say are the biggest pushbacks in your organization for utilizing CRM?
Really just staying on top of it and putting in notes, so our BDC knows what's going on with the opportunity. I'm sure everybody that has a BDC numerous times that, you'll go to call somebody and a salesperson talked to them yesterday or couldn't get them approved and you're, looking like an idiot on the back end in the BDC, not knowing what's really going on with the customer. So, just like you said, just getting salespeople to put in notes and it'd be accurate to really what's going on with the opportunity.
I want to say this to you because Vin Solutions is here, and I'm saying this with respect. No CRM company, including Vin Solutions, specializes in training. So when you sign up with a CRM company, they have all these trainings, and eLead is the worst. Like when you go into the eLead University, it's PDFs. Are you freaking kidding me? Like I just want to hit my head. Like, are you serious, right? But what these CRM companies do is they specialize in what I call buttonology, which means how to use their tool, how to use eLeads, how to use VIN Solutions, how to use DealerSocket, whatever. They don't specialize in teaching you psychology, strategy, operations on the CRM. They don't teach you how to make appointments, how to build relationships, how to perpetuate relationships. And dealers and managers are disillusioned. They think because they have a CRM and they offer CRM training that you're trained in CRM. No, you're trained in that tool. You're trained in Vin Solutions CRM. Am I correct, Craig Simpson?
For the most part, you've got really good, you've got really good performance managers.
No, I'm talking about the training. I'm not talking about the performance managers. No. I'm talking about the tool. When you go to Vin Solutions University, the 101 certifications that are there, they're based on the Vin Solutions tool, correct? That's what I'm talking about. Did you shut off my mic on purpose? There we go. So that's what I'm saying. Now, the performance managers, 1,000% correct. The one main reason why I love Vin is that you have to be a car person. I think I know your stats. You've got over 31 years automotive and 13 years or 12 years with Vin Solutions, Craig? So yeah, I know everybody's stats like Rayman. So that's one of the top performance managers in the country. Very, very experienced. But if you're not available, what am I doing? I'm going to my Vin tool, I'm going to my Vin University, and guess what? Not a goddamn thing in there has to do with anything I just said. That's all. It's not a shot to Vin. Ged?
No, so I can add one more thing. And
Please.
it's just recently, maybe in the last 9 to 12 months, we have an advanced, so we have the videos, just like you said, and at least they're videos, right? And they're somewhat interactive, but we have live training that you can sign up for as well. So there's a calendar and schedules, and we now have advanced BDC and advanced sales training. So that whole objective of that training is to teach you how to hunt.
Ooh.
Right? So it's not Bradley. So I'm not even going to get on that level, but it will teach you how to hunt, right? So to the comments that Kennedy was making about tags, and so he's an animal, right? Guys, if you don't know, Kennedy is a freaking animal. So if you're doing those kind of tricks, because there's a lot of great tricks, but there's a lot of other tools in the system. This advanced training will help get you there. But if you really want your sword sharp, then it's the next level. It's either Bradley or the PM, right, to get you there. So it's like like the stores that have both. It's an awesome tag team. I mean,
Yes.
it's freaking. There's nobody better than. And I'm not saying that because I'm not a sponsor, dude. I'm a PM, right? I just roll with him when we come in because synergy and dealer synergy is that we've got that, right?
And then for me, it's the opposite side of things, which I agree with, is that when I go and do CRM with your group, first thing I say is that your people need to learn the basics, the buttonology from the CRM company. How can we teach you advanced tactics and strategies if you don't know how to function and flow in the tool? You don't know the basics about the hashtag or that there is a reverse lookup tool or whatever it is. So the step one, in my opinion, is understanding the native tool and then getting that intermediate to advanced training, whether it's Dealer Synergy or whatever the resource that you have. So I love this. Okay, I'm going to open it up to questions from the audience. And again, he's very, very calm, not like me, crazy all over the place, but like Craig said, Tom is no joke. He's a beast. He runs the entire group's like digital side of things. So any questions you guys have for our panel? Really? I know I can count on you.
It's more so for Tom. So I love Vin, right? And one of the biggest reasons that as a sales pro, I left, one of my main reasons because the CRM that the prior dealership had, and Vin is so simplistic. Me going back to relaunch my business, right? So I just got with Vin and was able to put my customers back. What would you say one tool for a sales pro, because you come from where I am, that is the best type of follow-up strategy that you would have did yourself for like your sole customers or repeat referrals?
I would focus on a strategy that you're actually going to be able to do on a day-to-day basis. Don't necessarily set up Sean's tasks or, Craig's tasks or, dealer X, Y, or Z if you're not actually going to do it. Like walking into the beginning of the day and having 400 tasks from the last week that you didn't have time to actually hit is stupid. 90% of VIN can be automated. If you actually take the couple of hours to go in and let the system do the work for you. And guess what? The big thing is like systems like Matador and the AI stuff, it's coming for the salespeople that don't want to take the time to actually go in and do the CRM work. Because the CRM is going to be probably your most important asset in the next 2 years. Because once Google flips the switch on cohorts, you're losing third-party big data. And your in-house data is going to become how you either survive or die as a dealership.
I'm gonna add to that. So the question was, D, repeat the question again so I could answer it perfectly.
The question I stated is for anyone that wants to hunt, because I like to hunt, what would be a number one tip to hunt?
Okay, so first thing is I'm going to take it back to, and I really would like Kalina and Jonathan to listen to me, not the most because I care about everybody here, but this is extremely important. What I learned from people like Chrissy Burton and Cody Carter and Ali Reddas and these superstar people is that the goal of a salesperson, in my opinion, is to not depend on the dealership for anything. Cody operates 100% on repeat business referrals or things that come from his website. Ali Redda, same thing. They're repeat business and referrals. Folks, I practice what I preach. For me, my entire national company, wrap your mind around what I'm about to tell you, We have 0 salespeople and we spend $0 in marketing and advertising. All this shit, I didn't pay for it. All my sponsors did. How? 100% of my business is repeat business referrals, or when I'm doing keynotes or my books and things like that. That's the pro tip, is you want to develop your business where it's repeat business and referrals. So now with that being said, what I'm doing is I'm segmenting the database. This is high level shit right here. In the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Dr. Covey says in the 3rd habit, put first things first. Be careful of distractions disguised as opportunities. So how do you do that? How are you careful with things that are disguised as opportunities, not get confused? You need to identify what's the preeminent thing. I just said to you earlier today that the most powerful things are what? Prior customers, right? My daughter, I'm so proud of you, how you picked up on it when you said, orphan owners. That's what you should do. So again, first thing I would do is go to my dealership and figure out, how do I get my hands on those people? How do I get my orphan owners from the dealership? And the good news is that most people think they're crap and they don't even care about them. From there, I would create a strategy. The first thing I would do is gather field intelligence. Social media is amazing. So is a website called Spokeo.com. You could gather, it's Spokeo with an EO.com. You could gather field intelligence and you could start putting that into the profile of your prospect. So if you find out, for example, let's say you might be surprised because he's African American, but he's actually blind and he's Jewish. You know what I mean? And I had no idea. I've never had a Jewish, best friend before. And I learned a lot about the culture. His wife celebrates Kwanzaa. So let's just say he was in my orphan owner list and I look on his social media, all that's there. You know what I would go, I'm going somewhere with this. I would go to Google and I would type in 2022 Jewish holidays. And I would literally set up all of the Jewish holidays, under him. If we're using Vince Solutions, all I would do is pull out the prospect. I would set the appointment. Let's just say, LA, off the top of your head, when's the next major Jewish holiday? What day? What day is that, off the top of your head? April. Let's just say it's April 14th for a second, right? I would go into Vin, under the appointments, under April 14th, which is probably not the right date, and I would say send e-card, happy Passover to L.A. Williams. Let's say I found out that his wife's birthday was this. I call this micro setup. You've got to think about it, guys. When we set up CRMs on the dealership level or dealer grow level, we can't really ever maximize the value of the CRM or the true potential because we might offend somebody. I can't turn around and put automated templates for Jewish people if I'm sending out to a Muslim or a Christian. It's just not appropriate. So this is a big power tip, and I want to ask the panel about this. There's a macro setup for CRM and a micro setup for CRM. Macro is all the generic things that you need to have, that are non-political, non-religious, any type of confrontational type shit. It's just the professional stuff, right? However, the salesperson's job, or the BDC, but most likely the salesperson's job, should be to build a rapport through qualifications, through field intelligence, through intuition, however you're going to do it. Your Ouija board, I don't care. Figure it the fudge out, right? You need to gather the field intelligence and start setting up these activities. Why? Because there's some days there ain't shit going on. And I agree with Tom said, is that if it's popping and I got 400 tasks, then what am I going to do? In my system, I'm going to prioritize. I might not send the e-card, because I'm trying to do a higher level activity, but there are days where there's nothing going on at all, where I wish I had a task that said, send somebody an e-card. Hell, if there was nothing going on, I might send out a whole personal video through BombBomb or something like that. Does that make sense? So I would say that's the best thing that a salesperson could do, is remember the rules of engagement. All you got to do is get somebody to like you, trust you, and believe you, and they're going to buy a car from you. Again, get them to like you, trust you, to believe you, and they're going to buy a car from you. How are you going to do that if you are not depositing into their emotional bank account? If you go to a regular bank and you try to withdraw $5,000, right? Unless you have $5,000 in there, they ain't going to give you shit. Right or wrong? So if we keep trying to hit our database, if we're trying to hit our CRM, our data mining tool, over and over again, hey, you want to buy a car from me? You want to buy a car from me? Do you know anybody who wants to buy a car from me? Hey, I'll give you $20. I'll give you $200, referral fees, whatever it is. You're withdrawing from these people's emotional bank account. When are we depositing into these people's emotional bank account? Does this make sense? Okay. What do you guys think about what I just said? Start from you, sir. Josh?
Yeah, it's really the small things anymore. You know, just like you said with the e-card, it's that, you know, you've got the follow-up process of, you know, birthdays, anniversary when they bought their car, but things like that is really gonna make them you know, remember you, and come back again and be a repeat customer. So it definitely comes down to the small.
You know what's funny you said that about the small aspect of things is that I'm not even exaggerating. One of my tax attorneys, right, that we had, I still get emails. You know what emails I remember the most that I get from this guy? When to turn my clock, back or spring forward or whatever that is. I have no idea. I don't know if you guys are like normal and I'm just like stupid because I have no idea when that shit is, like daylight savings times or whatever, except when I get the damn email from my attorney, the tax attorney. And it's so, but I remember it. He's like co-branded now with like daylight savings time. Again, in follow-up in marketing, there's something called TOMA. I don't know if you heard of this. TOMA, top of mind awareness. Sometimes people won't ever click the emails, but if it's in the subject line or what have you, you're showing up over and over and over again. Does that make sense? Stephanie, thoughts? Oops, sorry, Josh.
Yeah, a lot of times it's subliminal, right?
Yes.
So they're not thinking that, you know, they're not realizing what you're doing and why you're doing it. They're just, you know, well, hey, Sean reached out to me, you know, say happy, Hanukkah or whatever, but it's subliminal, that it's in the back of their mind when they're going, you know, when they're looking for a car, or even with a family member, you know, you're the first one they're gonna mention. So.
100%. Stephanie?
So humans have to have connections. You're right. You have to trust somebody if you want to do business with them. I've seen plenty of people walk out because they didn't like their sales professional. So, you know, a CRM and having the notes in there and being able to foster these relationships with these people is kind of a beautiful thing. You know, if someone just had a kid and they just bought a car, now you know to send them something nice. You know, it doesn't have to just be an e-card. If you have the budget, you can send them anything. And they'll appreciate that, and they'll remember that, and they'll come back the next time when their kids need a car, when their husband needs a car, when their aunt, whoever. The point is, human beings love connections. And if we're not utilizing the tools we have to connect with them in an impactful way, we're missing the point altogether.
So I'm not sure which one on the panel said about the automations. I want to share something with you, and this is one thing I really love about BombBomb and utilizing video. And the reason why I'm saying that is that people that utilize YouTube into their CRM for their automated emails, I don't recommend that, because if you had somebody half my level or someone like Rico's level that we're beast, Tom, anybody in this panel, if I peep, because I mystery shop my competitors, I would have a problem if let's just say, Stephanie, if you're my competitor and you were using YouTube, I would do pre-roll. So all your freaking emails that you're sending out would have my commercials in the beginning. So I don't recommend being cheap and using YouTube to send videos to your people, because again, if you have somebody half of our caliber, we're gonna eat your lunch. Every time your prospects and your customers are getting messages from you on YouTube, they're gonna see my pre-roll commercials. So that's why I very much encourage you using a tool like BombBomb. So now, what you can do though, is create automated videos, right? And you don't have to have their name in it. So this is like a little pro hack, okay? Cameron? Okay, cool. Preach, okay, no, I thought you were like, wait, I got something, okay. These damn lights are blinding me, I can barely see you. It's Jesus. I love you, Cameron. It's Jesus. Okay, so understand something. In Vint Solutions, they have a feature that for somebody's birthday, you could set, it automatically sends an automated email template, but it's just static. What you can do, what we've done with a lot of our clients, if you go to YouTube and type in happy birthday, I think it was happy birthday Castle Chevrolet, right? So that's all you gotta do is go into YouTube and type in happy birthday Castle Chevrolet. What you're gonna find is a video that we did for Castle Auto Group. We basically had the whole team, and we did it at your store as well. They literally got a cake. They got a big ass cake. They got balloons. They got decorations, and they were like, "Happy birthday!" And they sang "Happy Birthday." Now follow the trajectory. If you've got a BombBomb platform or Build a Brand platform or whatever that's got video technology in it, what you can do is integrate that into your CRM. So follow me. The email goes out And in the email, it's got the merge codes in Vin Solutions, for example, that says, to Kalina, happy birthday, we have a video message for you. Or, hey, Kalina, we got a video message, click this. And when they click this really awesome produced video with everybody jumping out singing happy birthday, the video doesn't say Kalina, it doesn't need to, because when the email sends that automatic template, the name is already personalized with the merge codes and the macros. Does that make sense to you guys, what I'm saying? So what you can do is you could begin with the end result in mind. It's almost like pick your own ending type thing, where you can create a bunch of amazing videos that are generic. Not generic in quality, but generic as you could repurpose them over and over in automation. So I love the tip that was said that with CRM you could automate stuff. I want to add to that and say you should be automating with videos. Tom?
This is crazy.
No, you pretty much followed it up perfectly.
Do you like the content? Well, if you want more, then you need to sign up for Bradley On Demand, the world's best virtual training platform in the entire automotive industry. With some of the top speakers, salespeople, and trainers, and almost 7,000 training modules. You will sell more cars more often and more profitably. So sign up now at www.bradleyondemand.com.